ever seen a little birdie egg before it hatches? You know, I used to see these eggs in a little nest outside my house in the rafters. It's quite an interesting experience. And if you catch it at just the right time, which doesn't happen very often, you can get a sense, though, of what's happening and stirring in that egg. Because at first it's just little nothing but a seed and liquid. And because of the perfect way that the universe operates, that continues to grow. And it grows and it grows until one point comes and that shell cannot contain it. And it gets so angry and it starts knocking on that shell and it starts clawing on that shell and it starts moving in that shell. And pretty soon, what does it do? It gets a little crack in that shell. Because that shell, that particular shell, has become too tight. It must grow in order to get out of that shell and become what it was meant to be, which is a freaking bird. Right? So it's meant to become a bird. Now, we shall expand. Now, so this something or another that's inside that shell, it doesn't know what's coming, does it? And at that point, it just must break out. And it's still, even when it is able to breathe and have mommy come bring it some worms and it's so happy, it still doesn't know what it was meant to do, does it? It thinks, this is awesome, man. Mama dropping food in my mouth. The nest is comfortable. I got my sisters and my brother with me. It's so cool here in this beautiful nest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. So if expansion and evolution and change is a part of the spiritual path, then why, I ask you, is it so hard for us? Because we have a mind. So there's a part of us that is constantly wanting to evolve, and there's a part of us that's constantly wanting us to stay the same, because the same means safety, right? The same means safety, but there's a part of us that doesn't want to stay the same, that can't stay the same, and it wants to evolve, it wants to learn, it wants to grow, it wants to fly, it wants to be more of what it was created to be. But the thing is, because we're in resistance to the change, we actually do not usually voluntarily walk down the path of change. It's more like, what was it that somebody said, we go into the next change clawing on the past and holding on with dear life, right? The Dalai Lama said, in the end, what matters most is how we loved, and how we lived, and how we learned to let go. Now, I pondered this and thought, if the Dalai Lama just laid down 3 things, and I think he's kind of cool, I think he's pretty wise, right? He laughs a lot, and that to me says enlightenment. But he says these 3 things. I mean, I understand love. Everybody knows that's the purpose. I understand live. I mean, why would we be here if we're not going to live? But let go. Why is that? Why did that make the 3 biggies? In other words, when you start to be conscious of the places that we have hidden and not allowed to fly and not listened to, that turns inward, doesn't it? It begins to turn inward, and we cannot afford that very long. We cannot afford that very long where it turns inward, because we know something within us wants to express in a new way, right? Am I talking to myself here? Can I have an amen? Because I don't know, but I'm thinking you're all doing the same path, right? We're all on the same path. Sometimes it's disturbing. I mean, looking at you, I sometimes feel disturbed. But give me some more love, okay? You're my people, right? Give it, come on. Okay. When we nature of living from the soul, we begin to understand that the truth is that we are all on a journey. We are on the journey of awakening, and we are living the hero's journey. Now, when life is framed from that context of the hero's journey, everything changes. Because if that woman could see, eventually she did, that this was all happening for me. That nothing is happening to me, everything is happening for me. Everything, all part of life is conspiring for my evolution and for my growth and for my happiness, right? Can't you just see that in your own life? Only when you look back, right? It's a little harder in the beginning, right? And so that bird is born, and now it's free because it lives in a nest. And it lives in a nest and it's so happy, and mama brings the worm. Brother and sister are fairly nice. But then they start to grow. They start to grow, and it starts to get a little crowded in there. It starts to get a little crowded in that nest, and they grow bigger and bigger. And dang it, wouldn't you know, pretty soon, have you ever seen these birds when they grow? I was always shocked and surprised because it looks like I looked outside and there's a little teeny bird, and I looked out the next day and it's like as big as the mama. Like, how did that happen? So fast. And then pretty soon you got to see about 2 or 3 of these birds as big as the mama in this one little nest. It's like they are overtaking the nest. And so it gets tight and it gets uncomfortable. And guess what? Something else has to change. Something else has to change in order that that bird can become and live what it was created to live, and live how it was created to live, because the bird was not born to sit in a nest. The bird was born to fly. And so if that bird would have held on and stayed in the nest, it would never have learned to fly like it could. And thank God the bird doesn't have a mind like us that can convince us of all the dangers out there if it flew out of that nest. Right? This hero's journey, the framing of such. In framing all stories, it makes how we frame all stories is what sets the next course of our. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to fly. I'm ready to cut away. Let's do that one again. I think there's a little resistance. I'm ready to cut away. I'm ready to cut away the ties that bind. And tell the hero's journey.